Motive Studios' Dead Space Remake absolutely shines in its gun-toting, alien-blasting blockbuster showdowns, but the ways in which it toys with your mind, keeps you on edge, and masterfully recalls the 2008 original while delivering something entirely fresh is pretty incredible. Dead Space filled me with dread from start to finish, and it takes a pretty special game to pull that off, especially one that I was sure I was familiar with already. It is important to dispel any notion then that the Dead Space Remake is simply the same game with a modern makeover. Dead Space looks brilliant, oozing atmosphere and painting a more credible version of the ill-fated USG Ishimura, but that's because it's been rebuilt from the ground up in the Frostbite engine, with lighting, textures, and character animations, and enemy move patterns all dialed up and brought in line with PS5 and Xbox Series X standards. The game follows the same narrative arc as the original, but it interweaves new story offshoots and more sophisticated dialogue throughout, while also replacing the once silent protagonist Isaac Clarke with voice acting from Gunnar Wright, who brought the character to life in Dead Space 2 and 3. Out on the field, enemy placement has been drastically altered, as have the transitions between some levels and the bosses which gate them. Elsewhere, environmental puzzles have been completely overhauled in places, including a new take on zero-G sections where players can now fly freely around internal and external locations powered by a booster, posing new challenges that left me scratching my head on more than one occasion. Through all of this, Dead Space has been granted new levels of depth, to the point where I'd argue being in any way familiar with the original is as much of a hurdle to be overcome as the game's tangible obstacles themselves. A great trick this game pulls is how it makes backtracking more exciting. The USG Ishimura is an expertly interlinked playground, but like the first game, you'll do a lot of shuttling around the same claustrophobic locations as you progress the story. Being unsure of what might lie around the corner you've already uncovered is a surefire way of keeping things fresh, and it works. By making it seem like trouble's coming but not actually executing the threat, the game messes with your head. It invites you to doubt yourself, your skills, your nerve, while simultaneously allowing the devs to vault the fourth wall with a nod and a wink as if to say, nice try, think again. Sure, there are still some post-Bioshock era set pieces left, getting our first glimpses of a new enemy type decimating an NPC on the opposite side of a safety wall is no longer scary whatsoever. But these moments, I reckon, exist as a homage to the original's place in time. Under the hood, the Dead Space remake comes with a suite of accessibility options missing from the original that cover everything from colorblind mode to aim assistance, a story difficulty setting that sees Isaac's health continuously regenerate, HUD options, subtitle options, and graphic content warnings that allow players to hide the game's more disturbing or graphic scenes. There's also the choice of a 4K 30fps quality or 2K 60fps performance mode. How you play is up to you, of course, but I will say that if you can overlook the negligible difference between 30fps and 60fps, Dead Space looks gorgeous running on quality mode. The Dead Space remake really is a sublime mix of the fresh and the familiar, and it's freaking terrifying in its loud and quieter moments. Its reworked visuals and stunning dynamic lighting totally transform certain areas, while the remake's new dismemberment animations mean hacking off enemy limbs with a plasma cutter, uncovering bone and muscle tissue as you do is now gorier than ever. We give Dead Space 4.5 stars out of 5.